Hello and welcome. My name is Pierre Café, cost consultant campus real estate at TU Delft. Today we are asking a powerful question. How can we define a fair carbon price? And how can we turn it into everyday business practice? First, why carbon pricing? Carbon pricing is not just a number, it's a signal. It's important because it assigns a monetary value to carbon dioxide emissions. It involves setting an internal price per ton of CO2, for example, 100 euros per ton, used in decision making or investment planning. It's a calculation tool that makes sustainable choices more attractive, and it drives sustainable investment and stimulates innovation. By making carbon emissions financially visible, we can make better, smarter, and greener decisions and encourage others to do the same. So what's the current price of 1 ton of CO2? TU Delft uses 150 euros per ton as an internal transfer price for energy-saving measures. Meanwhile, the European Emissions Trading System, the ETS, has prices floating around 70 euros per ton. But the municipality of Amsterdam set a price of 418 euros in 2023. And the municipality of Utrecht even set a price of 875 euros, also in 2023. So earlier we saw that the European Emission Trading System has a price that's floating around 70 euros per ton. That price varies with the market. That's the market price, but it's not the real price of full societal or environmental cost. Market prices react to supply and demand. And like stock prices, ETS doesn't show true value. We were looking for a price that reflects few environmental costs. That's why we use a fixed internal carbon price, which brings clarity and gives stability in planning. So where did the 150 euros per ton come from? This figure was proposed in TU Delft's 2021 Climate University Plan. It's based on the global estimates like the World Bank's $190 per ton, the goal to trigger awareness and encourage real action. Meanwhile, other cities has gone much further, as we have seen with the 480 euros from Amsterdam and the 875 euros from Utrecht. But where did the 875 euros per ton come from? So the 875 euros of Utrecht is based on a cost method. It's named the Methodenkonversion 3.1. The German Umweltbundesamt provided this cost methodology for determination of environmental costs. It has calculated the environmental costs of long-term damage and fairness across generations. Their suggested base price in December 2020 was 680 euros per ton of CO2 equivalent. Our goal was to establish an up-to-date base price per ton CO2 equivalent. So in early 2024 we proposed a new base price, 680 euros per ton, the figure calculated by the German Umweltbundesamt in December 2020, adjusted for inflation. When applying the Dutch Consumer Price Index, 16.9% is added for the inflation during the period of December 2020 until early 2024. Or we add 9.4% when applying the Dutch BDB Building Cost Index. Then we add 25% intergenerational equity for our future generations and 10% for tipping point risks. That refers to critical thresholds in the Earth's climate or ecosystems that, once crossed, lead to large, often irreversible and accelerating changes. This gives a total range of 1004 to 1073, and we recommend rounding it to a clear 1000 euros per ton of CO2 equivalent, recalculated every 3 years. So let's see what this means in practice. Here's a recent renovation project, the low-speed wind tunnel laboratory. It included insulation, glazing, elevators, etc., using circular and sustainable material substitutions. And the cost impact. The estimated CO2 reduction for the circular approach was approximately 200 tons. This can be compared to around 10,000 tree years of carbon capture, or driving about 1.1 million kilometers in an average car. And what about money when setting an internal price? At 150 euros per ton, the avoided emissions equal a value of 30,000 euros. That's just 0.4% of the total building costs. But at 1,000 euros per ton, those same savings are suddenly worth 200,000 euros. That's nearly 3% of the building costs. That's the average annual net profit of a construction company in the Netherlands. So those kind of percentages can change the conversation on circular and sustainable material substitutions. In short, the strategic benefits are using 1,000 euros per ton supports decision making. It can steer procurement, planning and budgeting. It makes impact visible in financial terms. It turns environmental impact into financial language. And it makes sustainability measurable. A fair price for CO2 emissions empowers organizations to make choices clear, doable, and effective. It's how we turn abstract goals into real, structural decisions.